All right. Okay, here we are, part two. It's kind of where we left off right here. So we have shorten the eyebrow or clean up the eyebrows a little bit, and then get to those eyes. Okay, you gotta clean up the mustache, make it protrude a little more, and fix the hair on the side and the hat, and should be ready to go. So I'm gonna start out. I'm just gonna take some, just some of the eyebrow out. Okay. Okay, the eyebrow, what I'm trying to do here is, just knock it down a little bit off the front. And then, let me see if I can get over here a little bit. Yeah. And I think what I'll do is go about halfway up and just kind of curl it a little bit. Use an upsweep knife if you have one. I'm just kind of, I use these little flexible knives. Yeah, just kind of give it a little bit of a turn so kind of separate the kind of the eyebrow from the rest of the. All right, let me get a little bit more separation here so no one likes a unibrow. Seen 8 Crazy Nights, Adam Sandler. No one likes a unibrow. Anyway, it's a niche movie. Nova, get out of there. Dog getting in my Christmas chocolates. Nova, stop. All right. I don't want to lose too much here, so. Okay. All right. All right. So, first thing I'll do is just kind of make that a little bit more prominent in there. Go back to our. It's got quite a point on it, so I kind of like it. But yeah. Anyway, just making sure we don't go too far under the nose. Okay. Straight in, straight down. Yeah, get that cleared out. All right. Great time to use that brush. Give it a little. Okay. Let's look at the outside of the eye. Just see if we have kind of a similar distance from each one. Okay. And do that same thing where we put it in a little bit at an angle, create a little depth on the side. I can tell you right now that this needs to be kind of brought up a little bit because that's part of the temple. So I'm going to bring that bottom side of those eyes up. So I just right about where we were going to put the eye anyway. A little chip. Okay, same thing on the other side. Straight in. Okay. All right. So now we kind of have that, and so I don't usually draw it with a pencil because I don't want a lot of marks up there, but if you connect those two lines. Stop it, please. Okay? You're going to have bottom of the eye there. So I take this is a 3mm number 11, and I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to go right up there where I have that hole anyway. Kind of dig that in a little deep, turn it around, create the bottom of the eye. All right, we have a little eye mound. Okay, same thing on the other side. Same thing on the other side. Okay. Get it to that side. Gonna run it up the side of the nose. A little brush. I kind of feel like they might be a little different size, but if you want to put a eyelid in there, you can do that right now by just, yeah, actually let's just leave it like this for a minute. Go with a more wide open eye. I don't think I like the size of the eye, so I'm just going to redo it. So literally I'm just removing that line I just cut in. Kind of just re-leveling off. So, yeah, oopsie, right? I mean, probably turned a little bit, but yeah. All right, there you go. Now, let's start with and I'm going to tell you why. This Jelly-U-Ton is tough to put in details. And so what's going to happen if I do the eyelid the way I was starting it is it is going to just snap off. So I am very delicately just kind of putting that little eyelid in there. Okay, let's come to the other side. Again, I didn't really write anything down, but mark a line, I just kind of eyeballing it. No pun intended. Okay. Just barely taking a little off right up to that stop cut. Okay. All right. Hopefully, yeah, more or less gave us some. Okay, now I like the bottom here. I'm going to switch to a 1mm V. You could use dockyard tools here too, but I'm going to take that and just go a little bit deeper. All right, there we go. All right, so sort of eyeballing it over here. Again, kind of keeping those pencil lines away from the eyes. Just using my eyeballs. All right, so the bottom of the eye shouldn't come, well, we'll fix it when we come up here. I've taken it all the way over, but we're eventually going to cut that back so that the bottom of the eye feeds back in there, but that eye is too big anyway, so I can see right now that I need to get up in there. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is just kind of cut this back. All right. Put that eye so it goes up in there. All right. Let's do that. Because this one is not quite high enough, I'm just going to cut up the eyebrow a little bit. Okay, and I'll cut this eyebrow down. There you go. Now that gave us a little bit more room up there. Okay, and I think the reason why is I just cut the side of that little corner. I just cut a little too much off, but we can adjust that easy. All right. Okay, yeah, pretty good. I think we're coming around where we want to be. Let's go now that we have that where we want it, let's just go a little bit deeper. Dig that up in there. Okay, let's see if I can, yeah, you may not be able to see this, but anyway, coming up into there. So the point is the point. All right. Cool, let's leave those eyes for just a minute. Focus on something else and come back to it so we don't over carve it. I'll say this is a Drake. It's a Drake 5mm. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just kind of get some swooping cups up in here. Remember, nothing straight, so just kind of come in here at an angle. Yeah. Okay. Just on the side there, and then maybe junk a couple up in there. It just crumbles. This is going to be hard to keep the consistency of the, like underneath the hat, because it's going to crumble like that. Okay. Anyway, here's what it is, as they say. Okay. Swing these around. Kind of tough to get to it right there. A little rain and snow today here. I'm in Utah. Furthest north you can be. Right on the border of Idaho. Alright, let's take the hat down. Just anytime we go deeper, we need to keep adjusting that hat. Okay, so, yep, I like it. Flatten it up here. Okay, starting to stick out, so it's starting to be straight again. So we're going to tuck it back in there. And little by little, that ball's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So that's good. In fact, we can kind of shape that ball a little bit. Take all the saw marks off of it. Maybe round it slightly. I didn't like that angle. Flat gouge. Really steering it with my finger, my thumb. Ah, there we go. All right, and I'm anchored in here on the table instead of my chest. As normal. There we go. Get it a little ball shape here. Okay, so thick in the middle, narrow at the hips. A little rap song. Like I'm thick in the middle, narrow at the hips. Alright. Probably inappropriate. Okay, perfect. I like it. Okay. Our top's poking out a little bit. Right? This part of the hat is coming out just a little bit. It's actually this under section that we want to. I can go about right there. Would I just sweep it under? All right. I like that. Okay. And of course, this is going to get too straight. I cut the edge off of that one. Let's leave that right now. I'll come in there with that little. That's too big. 3mm. Kind of undercut that to create a little bit of a shadow. In fact, if I'm up to it, I might cut that all the way through, just as we go. If I remember, I like to give that, makes it look like it's almost balancing on top. Okay. All right, we go under the, we have a V, 1/4 inch V. Again, just, I think I told you in the first video, just gonna have to keep creating that depth under that mustache or it'll get lost. All right, yeah, pretty good, right? Creating a little shadow there. Yeah, same thing on the other side. Get a little deeper near the lip. Okay, all right. Let's see. I think that I could probably knock down the corners of this cheek. Kind of round it on the bottom. Okay. And yeah, that's another little chip triangle cut we'll cut out. Chip cut. All right. Okay. All right, same thing on this side. Let's make sure we're keeping them about the same size. Actually, I think I'm going to take a little more. So stop cut at the nose, allow along the side of the cheek where we originally started with what we called the smile frown line. Okay, just at a little angle, and I'm just going to pop that thing out. Just try to get that a little deeper. Yeah, anyway, there we go. And let's cut the eye kind of back into the, I mean, it's going to shape towards the nose anyway, so, okay. We're going to do the same thing on each side, so, yeah, let's just cut that little triangle like we do on the other side, so, boom, boom, okay, flip it out, boom. All right. Okay, kind of like those cheeks. All right, I'm going to take, see, dockyard, which are typically 9, number 9s. This one's the one I grabbed. It looks like it's a number 4. Number 4, U, and I'm going to come across the cheek from typically where the ear would be. Just going to come across. And I don't take it up as much as I just take it over, okay? It creates a little ridge that if I come back on this other side, knock in there, and it gives us a little sack. I'm sure. Somewhere I've got blood coming out. Must be the carving. All right. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So I totally forgot what I was doing. It's going to come straight from about where the ear would be. This might even be just a little too big, but it's all right. Kind of come over here to the nose. Create that little sack underneath. All right, I can see that this cheek is starting to pop up a little bit. I'm not bleeding anywhere, so I think what I'll do is try to just cut this back in there. So if I make a stop cut right here, I'll be able to just cut that kind of back in there a little bit. Trim that bottom into that mustache. All right, I like that better. Maybe even cut it up just a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, now we lifted it. Oh, small cut. Now we lifted it and moved it up. Okay. So we're going to have to do a facelift on the other side. So we'll cut a little stop cut. Okay. I think that grabbed it right there. Okay. All right, I'm going to come along the mustache line. And then along the nose line, but more. I don't want to cut too far in, but I just want to round that mustache so that it, yeah, goes into the nose and not necessarily like under the nose almost, right? Okay. All right. I like that a little better. Okay. Let's stop cut right here and kind of go up underneath theirs. Okay. Take the sharp edge off. You know, and you can actually go in here and just kind of round that if you wanted to. That's the sack that we were making. Just every time I do it, it's going to lift the bottom. So, all right, okay. Back to the eyes. Back to the eyes. All right. I think I cut myself because I always push the stuff out. I've got my knife lying here, so I'm not the greatest. But anyway. All right. before we get to the eyes, let's hit the mouth. Yeah, let's just cut a little chip cut out of here. Okay. I don't want to go too big, like a lot of my Santas end up ho-ho-hoing, but you don't know they're ho-ho-hoing. All right, now we have to tuck the mouth underneath the mustache. Okay. And I'm sure in the comments, like, if I'm doing this wrong, if there's a better way to do it. I'm no pro, I'm just, again, mimicking those. I'm just showing the way I do it that I picked up from Doug Linker and Blake Lunsford. And that's it, so, okay. All right, now, lip, I am the worst at this. And every time I have Bartley, my brother, critique it, that's what he tells me, the lip has got to come up in there. Okay? And I get too aggressive when that happens, but we are going to make it go up in there no matter what. Okay, I like that. I like that. And we can calm it down a little bit. I think that the mouth's got to have a little swoop underneath it. Okay, so let's get this all calmed down now. Yeah. I also think that not everyone focuses so much on the mouth, as long as it's not sticking out there like it's this, you know. But yeah, you're gonna hit that with a little red. I'm gonna come right underneath here and just kind of, yeah, narrow it down. Anyway, I think that's about all I'm gonna do with that right now. Otherwise, you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and you get in trouble. Okay, the mustache separates. So let's give it a little separation. Get that trough back in there. You know, you could just use a gouge. All right. Okay. All right, back to the eyes. I like our little groove. So I'm ready to set the eyes in there to really start to take shape. So we have an eyelid. Okay. And this one looks good on this side. It's kind of in deep, but the deepest part needs to be right here. So I'm going right along the eyelid, and I'm going in there a little deep. All right. I'm going to come right under it. And this is a narrow eye, so it's just really that little spot right there, and I'm going to pop that out. Okay, perfect. I'm going to take my knife. Just slowly, I'm kind of pushing to come right along the bottom. You could use a gouge for this, a V-tool, if you, the dockyards are great, but I'm going to come just right up to where the side of that eye is, because we're going to make another opening. So I've got the bottom, come across that eyelid, okay, I'm going to pop it out. Come on. Okay, now I'm just going to tuck very nicely the bottom of that eye into that bottom. Make sure you clear out. Okay, so yeah. That's pretty good on this one for now.
I just wanna...
Hey, Layla.
Hi, Dad.
I'm recording the YouTube video.
Hi, Eric. Can some people come over?
Yeah.
Great. He's helping.
I am making a YouTube tutorial, so you guys are on.
Hey.
There's at least 2 people that will watch this, and you guys are. All right, shout out to the girls on a Friday night. All right, so we got that. Now we're going to come over to the inside. And so much for having a studio. All right, get that part out. Take that middle part out. All right. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so tuck up under the top. Okay, make that little. All right. Okay, kind of get that bottom out of that eye. All right, may have gotten distracted there, but yeah, just gonna lick it. Get it wet a little bit so I can see what yeah. Well, probably not very hygienic, but actually I have a little dropper somewhere. Let's see what, might have a little spray bottle or something, but I just want to see, because it gets really hard to see in there. So yeah, I think those turned out okay. I think this lid is a little higher than this lid, so we're going to come up and just like we would the normal eye, just take that right back in there. Okay. Okay. All right. I like it. I like it. Okay, that's kind of where we're at there. Finishing up the eyebrow, we'll just tuck it back into here because it's going to be hair coming out. So we'll just come up into the hat and do a little triple stop cut, pop that all out. All right. So yeah, see how it kind of, yeah, here we want to cut that up there. All right. I like that. Okay. Same thing on this side. It's not as much because it doesn't, there's not as much space available there. All right. Okay. All right, so the eyes are done pretty much. Let's put, let's stick a number 1. I did a U, not a number 1, sorry, number 11, 3mm. Where's the 1mm? That's all right. I just kind of hit it at the side because I know I'm going to come back through with the V. Yeah, there you go. Something like that. On the other side, yeah. Got that ridge on there. Remember on the mustache, we want to cut that off so it doesn't chip, hopefully. And it kind of chipped right there at the end, you see. Yeah, so I probably should have hit it. All right, I'm going to take a 1mm V and just kind of get in there and give it some definition. All right, there you go. I like that. All right, I like that. All right, okay. Close the door. I'll be right back. All right, got about 30 minutes. I might cut it off here and post and get on another one. So, all right. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there for now, and yeah, we'll do a part 3. Thanks.